What's up, guys? I'm Mid2000YGO. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero, and you're watching the Structure Deck Wars. Stick around. Alright, guys, so today's video is going to be Warriors Triumph versus the Felgrand Structure Deck, the newer one. As you guys know, the Felgrand destroyed the Monarchs in the first episode of this series. And we're continuing the series here in round 2. Warriors Triumph got a bye, going straight into round 2 unchallenged. So Felgrand will be fighting the Warriors Triumph structure deck. Guys, if you don't know what this is my personal series where I'm determining what is actually the best structure deck out of all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Structure decks, and my goal is to finish this series before the year is up. So we will know going forward what is the strongest one right now, and we can just have something to compare every new structure deck as we go. Oh, but real quick, before we get into the replay footage, that's how we do this. In the middle there's replay, and then we'll have a little analysis towards the end. Before we get into that, if you guys haven't seen my Yu-Gi Tube versus Kappa video, I suggest you check that out. I'll leave a link to it either in the description or the pinned comment. It's very important you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a petition involved. There's you need to talk to the FTC. There's a way to comment anonymously, so you don't have to worry about any personal information being leaked or anything. There's no legal recourse for leaving a comment there. Basically, just be civil, leave a comment, let the FTC know that what they're doing with Kappa is too broad and needs to be more categorized, etc. But there's tons of information in that video. In fact, I have another buddy of mine, the Dark Arm Duelist, is going to be doing his take on it at some point in the near future. I'm not sure as of making this video at the moment whether it's up or not, but if it is, go check out his channel, and keep an eye on it, because he might have the video up by the time you see this one. Anyway, guys, let's go see who's going to take this fight. Will it be Warriors Triumph, or will it be the Felgrand structure deck? Dragons or Warriors? Let's find out. right, there you have it, guys. As you guys can see, the Warriors Triumph structure deck didn't take it. The Warriors, I guess you could say, didn't triumph. I know, bad pun. But this was surprisingly a close fight, guys. Like, literally, this went back and forth until Felgrand took it. Felgrand barely got this one, and if you guys don't know, Felgrand almost pretty much romple-stomped Monarchs. So, let's talk about why the Warriors Triumph deck almost took this fight. As you guys can see, we always show the loser first, and then we talk about the winner second. So one of the big reasons why this deck almost took this fight is because they have banned cards, or cards that are limited but in higher numbers. So for example, this deck has 2 Rhodas, Heavy Storm, Giant Trunade, and Snatch Steal. All of these spell cards are powerhouse spells, giving them access to even the low-class warriors we had were able to put up a fight. On top of that, let's face it, Guilford the Legend is... one of the big things that I would say is this deck was another one of those structure decks that has like more than one boss monster, and they focused around the wrong boss monster. They shouldn't have focused Guilford the Legend. You should focus on Gearfried the Swordmaster. As every time you equip something to it, he gets to blow something up. So that was one thing. They have multiple attackers. They have the ability to make their warriors big and huge and massive. They literally had a little bit of hate for everything. They had ways to get around big monsters that couldn't be destroyed by card effects. They had ways to get rid of like problematic defenders without actually having to beat over them. This deck also had a lot of back row hate. For an older structure deck, this actually isn't bad. I know that like DZ did a whole like expose on the Warriors Triumph structure deck and talked about why it's not good, but the truth is, yeah, it did better than I expected it to do. I think the biggest issue that this structure deck suffers from is some of the warriors that it has available to it. Like, for example, it does go minus. To use the Gearfried combo, it does go minus. But, other than that, I mean, all the equip spells doing different things, having, like, Snatch Steal, being able to, like, steal opponents' monsters, Giant Trunade to blow back row and just, beat face. I mean, the only issue that I can see that this deck really had is that it just had monsters like too many of its big beaters had backlash effects. That being said, I think for it's held up pretty well. I mean, like I said, guys, this deck went all the way to round 5 to determine a winner here. It was like warrior, dragon, dragon again. That's basically how it went down. In the long and short of it. But like, yeah, this deck kind of proves why Rhoda coming back to 2 or 3 might not be a good idea, or might be a good idea, depending on opinion. Now let's come over to the Felgrand structure deck. I know some of you guys have seen it before, but we're going to talk again about why this structure deck was actually able to take it and why it lost a few. Now this structure deck actually also has has a ban card, I should say, Eclipse Wyvern. But that Eclipse Wyvern, just especially in the terms of the structure deck wars, isn't enough to sway a game one way or another. That being said, this structure deck did have a few things going for it over the previous one. One, it had bigger beaters. Had ways to get those big beaters out faster than, say, for example, and could maintain a level of just keep that momentum going. This structure deck was very consistent. It's as terms as, like I said, in the vacuum that is the structure deck wars, this deck has consistency. Despite the fact that the warrior deck almost took it. The thing is, if you get out that Felgrand Dragon, especially the newer one, like Divine Dragon Lord Felgrand is the epitome. There are just certain monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That are the epitome of boss monster. And this deck does it right. It has its center, and its center is the Felgrand. Every other big dragon in this deck simply comes out as a result of Felgrand coming out and causing work. That's it. Whereas the warrior structure deck has the opposite problem, where it's like it's got 2 giant boss monsters with 2 completely different uses, and one being more useful than the other, but costs more to summon. This deck just had it just had bigger beaters, better speed, and overall, yeah, this deck just it's modern. I mean, I've just got to say, for its lack of ban cards, it's, you know, banned versus not banned. I mean, the modern deck just took this win. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry if I sound like a zombie. I'm a little tired as of recording this video, so I hope you'll forgive me. I hope you guys will give this video a thumbs up. Let me know if you're enjoying it. Yeah. I'm Bet2000YGO. I'm your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero. And me and my little sidekick here, we'll catch you next time. Peace.